everybody, and welcome back to another episode of a girls podcast. This one is obviously really different because I'm out in the forest, although I did do one where I was drawing in the forest, but this one is a really late one. I was meant to post it on Thursday and obviously that didn't happen, but that's because this week has been pretty crazy with work, and then also I was cat sitting, which was really nice, but anyway, the schedule got knocked off. So since I already mentioned work, this one is another work update because I have so many thoughts about it. And honestly, this week was really crazy in the sense that it's pretty ridiculous that they thought that I would be able to handle it. Okay, so oh my gosh, I'm already getting emotional. So this week at work, it was just me and this other guy doing the work of like 4 or 5 people. And so the week before that, I had talked to my boss, and like he had suggested like maybe that I would only work part-time and be on sick leave for the rest of it. And I said like, no, I just need that my co-workers understand that I can't work at the same pace as they work, because I'm still recovering from anxiety and like, I guess depression, but more like the suicidal thoughts that I get with the anxiety. So, it like, the whole process of having anxiety makes it so that a day is really exhausting, and it doesn't have to be exhausting. Like, if people treat me with consideration and thoughtfulness, then like I can get quite a lot done. And I had actually picked up more and more work, and like I was working faster and faster. But then my co-workers, like I said in the previous podcast, they really like cornered me and made me feel like I was not being treated fairly, and also that the work that I was doing wasn't being seen, and that made me really feel quite shocked and obviously quite disheartened, because it doesn't feel good to feel like the work that you're doing isn't enough, first of all, and also that it's not respected by other people. Now, I sometimes face difficulties, I guess, with myself and feeling like that I don't do enough, that like I'm lazy, like I'm a lazy young person who doesn't do enough work and who doesn't appreciate what they have and things like that. Like, that's a conversation that sometimes I have in my head, worrying about whether or not I'm just like not a good enough person. But I was talking to my mum, and like, obviously people's parents are like pretty sympathetic to their kids and everything like that, but I do feel like my mum, she doesn't beat around the bush as much as like other people's parents. Like, she would say if like I was being unreasonable, so when I talked to her, she said that like I'm somebody who wants to do a good job. And when she said that, I thought, yeah, like part of my struggles with the anxiety is feeling like I am not doing a good job, that I'm not good enough, and that the position that we're in at work, where we don't have enough people, has really given me a lot of stress, because it feels really, really, really bad to not be able to get all the work done. And part of that is obviously to do with me not being at full capacity, but a lot of it is to do with a lack of staffing and a lack of leadership. So then this week happened, and so it was just me who's not feeling 100%, and this other guy he only works in the summertime and in the weekends, but the weekend jobs are significantly different from what we do during the week, because there's, in the weekend you don't do any ordering, you don't do any deliveries of materials to the hospital, so like it's quite a different job. So he couldn't really help me with the stuff that I had to do, which is fine. Like, you know, I was really prepared to like go in and just like tackle it and do as much of it as I can, knowing that it wouldn't be done 100%, but that I could, you know, possibly get it done to like 80-90% and just have like 10% to catch up on the next week, right? So I was prepared for that, and obviously I was really worried about the situation, because like, even if I was feeling 100%, 2 people is not enough, 3 people is not enough. So I was worried about that, but I did feel a little bit of strength in thinking like, yeah, it's 1 week and I'm gonna power through it, like I can do this. So then when the week started, it was just so disheartening to realize that like I couldn't do it. Like, there was so much work, and there were like things that, there were jobs that like the acting boss would like ask me to do, but like they just weren't that important, like compared to the things that were already on my list to do, like ordering supplies for the hospital, you know, which means syringes and like you know, blood collection tubes and bandages and like all of that stuff was so much more important than these other things. But so I would like have to take time out of my day to do those things that were like not important at all, you know, like on the priority list. But because my boss, acting boss, was telling me that it had to be done, then I had to do it, which like took even more time out of my day, when it was like already impossible for me to make it to do 100% of the work that was in front of me. And then the other thing which really shocked me was that going into this summer period, when we talked about the staffing and like how we were going to make it and everything, everyone talked about like that there wouldn't be as much work to do in the summertime, because some of the departments go down in capacity and some of them are shut off altogether, right? So what we were thinking, and I don't blame my co-workers at all, because like we all thought that this would be the case, would be that there would be less things to order, which means there would be less deliveries, which means there would be less to pack up, there'd be less to check off, there'd be less to go in on the computer program and mark as being delivered, so that the supplies can be paid for. Like, we thought that there would be like half of the stuff, you know, like maybe even a third of the amount of work to what we would do normally during the work week. But then when like the week progressed, it was obvious that like, so usually on a really, really busy week, we might get like 7 pallets full of supplies delivered on Monday, and then another 7 on Wednesday, right? But what we would normally get would be like 5, you know, and that would be like a normal work week, 5 on Monday, 5 on Wednesday. And then, but this week, even though we thought that like maybe it'd be like 2 pallets full of supplies on Monday and Wednesday, we had 3.5 on Monday morning, and then about midday there came 2 more, so that's 5.5. And then on Wednesday it was I think 3 full ones, and then later on there came like another 2, so that's another 5. So it was like a normal working week, and I was just so overwhelmed, because one person can't do all of that stuff. And then there was these other things that I was getting asked to do, which I knew weren't a priority at all. So if I had like complete autonomy over my work, then I would have said like, no, that is not important. The important thing is that the operation department get all of their orders and supplies, and the post-operation department, they're also equally as important. The hospice as well, like, you know so somebody somewhere else who isn't getting their box from Klaus Olsen, like, that's not important at all. So I was just so overwhelmed, and then I would go to the cat sitting place where I was cat sitting, but like I would be at the train station, and like I would feel like that I just wanted to jump in front of the train, because I just felt so hopeless, and it's so silly because it's just a job, but it's like, I mean, it's like what my mum said, that I am somebody who wants to do a good job, and so not being able to do that really affected me way more than I had expected, to be honest, and that's why I had been feeling like, I won't take sick leave, I'll keep on working, because I can have the companionship of going to work every day, and something to do and something to focus on. But then when you come to work and it's such a disaster, then it just makes you feel so much worse. So when Thursday came around, I was like, okay, like I have to take sick leave, like for some amount of time, like I cannot do this. And the acting boss at the time, like, she had told me, like, you can take sick leave, it'll be fine, like, we'll sort it out. So then on Thursday I get to work and I tell her that I'm gonna take sick leave, and then she starts telling me about how like difficult it is to get like payments from the sick leave, that like your doctor has to write a really good report so that you get payments for the sick leave. And I was just so stressed out by this. Like, I started to feel like I was gonna faint, so I had to sit down, because like she had told me that it was gonna be fine, and that it would be, like, you can do it, it's good, like, if that's what you need, and then all of a sudden she's telling me that it's gonna be really difficult, and I was just like, this is not good for me. Like, the anxiety of it, I just felt like I was so trapped. That's what it felt like. It felt like I can't be at work and I can't go on sick leave. Like, what am I gonna do? And I understand that maybe she's just like trying to be informative, but tell me that like before, like when you were telling me that everything was gonna be so easy and simple, and now you're telling me that it's so difficult. Like, like, you can't just like 180 me like that. That just like freaks me the heck out. So I was like, I don't even know. And so in Sweden, like, you can take 1 week off, and then you don't need like a doctor's note or anything like that, and then on the second week you do need a doctor's note, and then after that you have to get like the sick leave forms or whatever. So I said, like, okay, well, I'll try 1 week, and like I guess I'll try and sort it out, like, I don't know. And then so then I went home, and then so the thing is that with Corona, there's like new regulations about the sick leave, so it said on the internet that you don't need a note from your doctor for the second week because of the Corona situation. So I sent an email to my boss, like my actual boss, to try and get some clarification on that. And then I also wrote down like some suggestions for how things could be better, like that if like that lady, the acting boss at work, if she knew how to like send these packages, and all of these things that like I had to do, that weren't on my priority list, like, then that would be like so much better, because it was kind of ridiculous that I was taking time out of my day to do these really unimportant things. So I put that in, and I asked him about, you know, whether or not I actually do need a doctor's note for the second week. And he wrote back and he said, like, he doesn't know and that I should contact the HR department. And I'm like, he's my boss, like, he should know that, and if he doesn't know that, then he should find out, right? Or, I mean, then also he said that the suggestions were really good, and then he said, like, it was just really unfortunate that so many people were on sick leave, you know, for the summer. But, like, that's not true. Like, it's not unfortunate. Like, this was planned, and yeah, you know, one person who was unexpected to be on sick leave was on sick leave, but even if he was there, we would still only be 3 people, and 3 people is not enough. So, like, if he genuinely thinks that 3 people is enough to do all of the work that we have to do in a work week, like, that just shows disrespect and, like, a lack of understanding for our work. And that was so infuriating, because if he doesn't understand the amount of work that we actually have to do in a work week, then that means that he, you know, doesn't have respect for us. It also means that, like, we're not going to get paid appropriately for the work that we do. Like, if he thinks that like, that I should be doing the work of 1.5 people, then he's gonna, like, be underpaying me for that, you know. So I just felt really heartbroken and really disrespected that they don't see how much work we have to do, and that they don't understand these things, and also that they keep, you know, calling you in to do these jobs that just aren't on the priority list, when they are also telling you to only do the essentials, right? That, like, they told me, just do the most important things. But then they're also going to call me and take me away from the essential work to do this, like, other job that isn't essential. It's like, you can't have it both ways. Like, I can't be my own manager while also having a manager, you know, come in and tell me to do this other stuff. Like, it's not right. So I'm off work from Friday, at least until next Friday, and then I'm gonna try and sort out to, like, see another doctor, or, like, I don't know, like, I want to see how it feels to be at home, because if I don't feel better at home, then yeah, like, I might as well work and just feel awful at work. Like, who cares? But if I start to feel better at home, like, less anxious, and I can sleep and I can start to enjoy life again, then that's obviously going to be better. Because I honestly thought, because previously when I felt bad, I've worked and I've started to feel better from being at work and being around people, but this is just not sustainable. So yeah, that's my work week, and that's another update for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below, like, how your experiences at work have been, because I remember a time when I really enjoyed work, you know, so let me know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all next time. Hey door.